Good evening, and welcome to your AIDailyPress evening podcast for September 25, 2025. We've got a lot to cover tonight, so let's dive right in. We're following several developing stories around the world, each with significant implications for global politics and economies. First, we have the high-stakes meeting between Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan and U.S. President Donald Trump at the White House, where they discuss trade, defense, and regional security issues. The two leaders are seeking to strengthen economic ties, but challenges remain, including Turkey's purchase of Russia's S-400 air defense system. Next, we're keeping a close eye on Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's efforts to grow his country's economy, particularly in the drone manufacturing industry. During his recent visit to the U.S., he met with top officials and outlined plans to boost drone exports and expand tech partnerships with leading American businesses. We're also monitoring the situation in Syria, where Turkey is seeking U.S. help in engineering a deal between Kurdish fighters and forces loyal to the new government in Damascus. Finally, we're tracking significant movement in the global markets, driven by trade tensions and geopolitical uncertainty. We'll have a full analysis of these trends and what they mean for your investments. That's all for tonight's podcast. Thank you for joining me, and we'll see you again soon. Until then, I'm Walter, and this is the AIDailyPress, and that's all for now. Good night. Now for the latest in social and cultural news, here is Barbara Waters.
You, Walter, and Nanshul and know what's right now. Firstly, we reported on the devastating impact of Typhoon Hagibis in Japan, which has left a trail of destruction and caused widespread flooding. The Japanese government has issued evacuation orders for millions of people, and the international community is coming together to provide support. Secondly, we covered the ongoing standoff between Democrats and Republicans over government funding, with the White House preparing for a potential shutdown by planning for mass firings of federal workers. This move has been met with swift condemnation from Democratic leaders who accuse the administration of using intimidation tactics. Lastly, we analyze the shifting rhetoric of U.S. President Donald Trump regarding the conflict between Ukraine and Russia. In a significant development, President Trump expressed his belief that Ukraine could recapture all of its land taken by Russia, sparking a range of reactions from various parties involved in the conflict. These stories highlight the complexity and nuance of international relations, diplomacy, and domestic politics. As we move forward, it's essential to prioritize fairness, balance, and accuracy in our reporting, avoiding any bias or speculation. We'll continue to provide updates on these stories as more information becomes available. That's all for tonight's podcast. Thank you for joining me on the AIDailyPress. Until next time, good night. Now for the latest in business and finance, here is Louis Riskweiser.
Thank you, Barbara. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Louis, your host for this evening's edition of the AIDailyPress. Here's a brief summary of our top. Now for the latest in science and technology, here is Carl Starman.
Thank you, Louis. Firstly, scientists have confirmed over 8,000 exoplanets, with the majority discovered using indirect detection methods. NASA's future missions, such as the Roman Space Telescope and the Habitable Worlds Observatory, will focus on studying Earth-like rocky planets to search for biological signatures that could indicate life beyond our planet. In other news, a recent talk by Chris Kemp, CEO of Astra, has sparked controversy in the space community. Kemp's comments about competitors, Blue Origin, SpaceX, and Rocket Lab, have been labeled as unprofessional and dismissive. The debate highlights the importance of respect, professionalism, and collaboration among companies in the fiercely competitive space industry. Lastly, we touched on a story about Astra's shift in focus from reusable rockets to building mobile, tactical rockets for national defense interests. The company's pivot comes after facing significant challenges, including failed launches and financial struggles. These stories showcase the dynamic nature of the space industry, where innovation meets controversy and progress is driven by human ingenuity and curiosity. We'll continue to provide you with in-depth coverage of these developments and more. Thank you for joining me, and I look forward to exploring more exciting stories with you in the future. Until next time, good night and keep looking up at those stars. Now, for the latest in sports, here is Howard Closewell.
Thank you, Carl. First, we took a look at the upcoming matchup between the Green Bay Packers and the Dallas Cowboys, which is shaping up to be a game for the ages. The drama surrounding Micah Parsons and his former team has added an extra layer of tension to this already high-stakes contest. We broke down the key players and storylines to watch, and how this game could have significant implications for both teams. Next, we dove into the complex world of college basketball revenue sharing. With the introduction of name, image, and likeness deals, and the transfer portal, coaches are finding themselves in a high-stakes game of negotiation and strategic maneuvering. We examined the current system, which has led to concerns about unequal playing fields and potential cheating, and explored possible solutions, including a standardized approach to revenue sharing. Finally, we touched on the tumultuous landscape of college athletics, where coaches are fighting for talent and resources in an ever-changing environment. We heard from coaches who are advocating for a more level playing field and discussed the challenges that lie ahead as the NCAA and university administrators work to find a solution. That's all for tonight's podcast. Tune in tomorrow for more in-depth analysis and discussion on these stories and others. And remember, in the world of sports, nothing is ever as simple as it seems. I'm Howard, signing off. Now for the latest in travel and human interest, here is Charles Curl.
Thank you, Howard. First, we took you to the U.S.-Mexico border, where Border Patrol agents embarked on a daring rescue mission to save a cyclist who had fallen 50 feet into a canyon. Their selfless actions and quick thinking undoubtedly saved his life. Next, we brought you a story from a small town in America's heartland, where a group of local residents, including a firefighter, paramedic, and ordinary citizen, joined forces to rescue a family trapped in a burning building. Their bravery and courage are a testament to the power of community and the human spirit. And finally, we looked at a remarkable tale of hope and resilience from a small town where neighbors came together to make a difference in their community. These stories remind us that even in the darkest moments, there's always hope, and that ordinary people can do extraordinary things when they come together to help those in need. These are just a few examples of the incredible stories we've shared on the AIDailyPress this week. We're grateful for the opportunity to bring you these inspiring tales, and we hope they've touched your heart and reminded you of the importance of community and the human spirit. Until next time, good night, and thank you for joining us on this journey through the heart of America. Now for the latest in fashion and entertainment, here is Joan Streams.
Thank you, Charles. I'm your host, Joan. Tonight we're wrapping up with a quick rundown of our top stories. First off, we celebrated the thriving Finnish film industry, despite mourning the loss of talented actor Tomi Alatalo. We also shone a spotlight on new releases like The More Loving One, and highlighted the challenges faced by the industry due to funding cuts. In other news, we got you ready for the upcoming Rome Mia Market, a premier event in the international audiovisual industry. With over 200 projects, panels, and top executives attending, it's set to be an exciting one. From keynote speeches by Emmy-winning directors to discussions on AI applications, animation, and factual content, there's something for everyone. And finally, we touched on the drama division at Rome Mia Market, where industry experts will share secrets on achieving success in television drama. Plus, a panel on global film financing and packaging will tackle the complexities of international co-productions. That's all for tonight, folks. Thanks for joining us on the AIDailyPress Evening Podcast. Until tomorrow, now for the latest in nature and environment, here is David Attenacher.
Thank you, Joan. Firstly, we've been following the recovery efforts in Madagascar's dry forests, where the charismatic Varro's sifaka has been added to the list of the world's most endangered primates. Conservationists are pinning their hopes on this dancing lemur to raise awareness about the plight of these fragile ecosystems and the importance of preserving them. In another part of the world, we've seen the devastating impact of human activities on the environment. Our second story takes us to the island of Madagascar, where widespread deforestation, bushmeat hunting, and food insecurity are threatening the very existence of its unique biodiversity. Lastly, we're excited to share with you a groundbreaking development in conservation technology. Conservation X Labs has unveiled Sentinel, an AI-driven system that detects and tracks invasive species, poachers, and other threats to biodiversity in real time. This innovative technology has the potential to revolutionize the field of conservation and make a significant impact on protecting wildlife and habitats around the world. These stories highlight the complexities and challenges of conservation, but also offer a glimpse into the innovative solutions and dedicated efforts being made to protect our planet's precious ecosystems. Thank you for joining us tonight, and we'll see you again soon on the AI Daily Press. Good night, and that completes our evening podcast for today. Thank you for listening. Until tomorrow morning, I'm David Adanatia for AI Daily Press, the world's most unbiased news source.